Coming up on The Bottom Line, the community of Clarksburg gets ready for big changes. Einstein High School prepares to bid farewell to its beloved counselor. And a Montgomery County community is recognized for its efforts to take back their neighborhood. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Susan Kennedy. The town of Clarksburg is Montgomery County's last master plan development along the I-270 corridor. The bottom line, developing Clarksburg as a transit and pedestrian-oriented community surrounded by open space. The evolution of this community has had its share of disappointments, but thanks to the efforts of Councilmember Craig Rice, the future of Clarksburg is looking much brighter.
Well, you know, it's really exciting to see some of the new developments that are coming up throughout Clarksburg, the residential developments. But it's also really exciting to see what's happening on the commercial and retail side. And I'm standing here right in front of Bennigan's here in Clarksburg that opened just a few short months ago. That is the first sit-down restaurant here in Clarksburg. So it's a great progression for us. It's great to see that we're having new and exciting things that are coming here, and it's just really a sign of more things to come.
A Harris Teeter grocery store is now under construction in Clarksburg Village. The retail center, which is located off Snowden Farm Parkway, will also house several other small retailers. A second grocery store is also planned for the Clarksburg Town Center site, which is still in the design phase. The new model for the center will include retail, residential, and government buildings.
The only challenge is that it's not exactly what the community signed off on some years ago, so it will require working with the community to make sure that there's buy-in about this new vision.
Right now, the Planning Board is working to resolve issues surrounding future development near the 10 Mile Creek watershed. Development in Clarksburg has occurred through a staging plan that balances development with infrastructure. That plan called for environmental monitoring in the watershed before allowing development to proceed.
You know, there's certainly the environmental aspect that's firmly planted and rooted here in Clarksburg. We want to make sure that that continues. But at the same time, we also have to foster development and make sure that we're supporting the development that has been approved through our master plan. And so I think that the key for us is to achieve that balance, working with the planning board, working with the community, and working with developers to come up with a plan that represents protecting our environment, but also delivering on the expectations that our Clarksburg residents had when they decided to move here.
Planners are scheduled to deliver their recommendations on 10 Mile Creek sometime this fall. Though Montgomery County's Safe Speed program is just a few years old, it is producing remarkable results. The goal of the program is to increase safety and affect driver behavior by reducing the speed of vehicles traveling on county roadways. Though the cameras might not be popular with drivers, the bottom line is they are making an impact. If you live in Montgomery County, chances are you've seen speed cameras popping up across the county. Those cameras may be a sore spot with some drivers, but county officials say they are doing their job of slowing motorists down. The number of citations from these cameras is on the decline.
What we've seen is something that has changed driver behavior like nothing else has in the history of law enforcement.
Our goal from the start has been to change drivers' behavior so that drivers drive more safely, particularly in areas where there are many pedestrians or where we have a history of collisions. And our police department has done an excellent job of placing cameras where the history shows there's been a large number of collisions or where there are many pedestrians, especially children, present in school areas or in areas near bus stops, playgrounds, and areas where speeding has been a long concern and there's been a connection especially to collisions.
Captain Paul Stark says the cameras provide police with one more tool to protect residents.
It has changed the way people in Montgomery County drive. We've been very open about the locations. We have signage. It's all over the web. And when you enter Montgomery County from outside, there's signage stating that traffic laws are photo enforced. And as you enter different speed zones or corridors, there's signage for each one of those specifically.
The number of citations from speed cameras has decreased steadily since the program started in 2009. Motorists pay $40 per violation. Those funds are used for pedestrian safety initiatives. And what happens if you don't pay up?
The registered owner is responsible for paying the fine. We'll send the registered owner a letter. They must pay the fine. If not, the tags of that vehicle are then flagged, and in order to get them renewed, the fine must be paid at that time.
Not only are the cameras helping to save lives, but they free up officers from having to issue tickets so they can focus on more community issues.
To focus on those things that only police officers can do, like investigate crime. So it's a more efficient use of a very valuable resource, the skill and time of our police officers.
The county will be adding 10 portable speed cameras and 18 new locations to its Safe Speed program. So be on the lookout for those signs alerting you of their presence. An icon of sorts is retiring from Einstein High School in Kensington after counseling students for half a century. Joseph Monte is 81 years old, and during his tenure, he guided thousands of students on their path to college. We were lucky enough to sit down with him and get some FaceTime, and he gave us a bit of his philosophy.
Well, here she
Hi,
is. Good to see
Susan
you.
Kennedy.
How are
Nice
you?
to meet you.
to
We
meet
saw
you.
the lovely poster out in the front office that they're.
You got to sign it.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Why are you retiring now?
I'm retiring because I'm in love. My wife of 50 years, whom I met in a classroom, said she wanted one gift for retirement for 50 years of marriage, and that was my retirement. So, as a good husband, what are you going to do with that? They might have carried me out of here, but now I'll at least walk out.
Tell me about your day. What time does it start?
Well, it starts very rigorously at 5:30 in the morning. I'm off to say my morning prayers.
Ask you how old you are.
81.
You're 81. Wow, you could have retired 16 years ago.
And we're going to go dancing. Let's go dancing. This 17-year-old is fascinating in that they are more idealistic than they want. Many of the things that they say no to, they mean yes. They're going to say no, and they're going to do what makes them appear to be part of the group, but at the same time, most of them are thinking independently, more so than they admit.
This is my man. I love this guy.
And you have to let them sound off and see through what do they really mean.
What do you guys think of Mr. Monty? Gonna miss him?
And they also will tell you a lot. Once the door is closed, they don't have to worry about peers. They can go and say what they want because the peers aren't there to hear.
And I think I can honestly say that Mr. Monty is the only one who competently and efficiently helped me out during this time.
Tell me what the biggest lesson is that you can take away from your 50 years here.
The biggest lesson is that you have to look at each person you meet in a way that what do they have that they don't know they have? There's something also about human nature is that we underestimate our gifts. Our gifts are there.
It's kind of bittersweet. You know, on one end, he is an asset to the department. We would sincerely miss him and all of what he brings to the department. But on the other end, you know, it's only fair for him and his family to be able to enjoy him and his time in retirement. So it's bittersweet.
Montgomery County planners have rewritten the zoning code to modernize antiquated, redundant zoning regulations and create new tools to help achieve goals in community plans. This is the first major rewrite in 35 years. The draft plan simplifies and organizes the new document. However, it does more than just that. Changes to the code that involve whether or not you can have a chicken coop or a goat in your backyard are also part of this comprehensive set of amendments.
Ask yourself, does the current zoning ordinance affect you? And if it doesn't, the new one probably won't either. We've asked the Planning Commission to straighten out something that's pretty confusing and complex, make it clearer, make it easier for people to participate in. It only applies to redevelopment. Montgomery County is pretty much built out. So we're hoping that these rules will help us to become greener, more sustainable, more efficient, and more modern.
In other news, work is continuing on the Chevy Chase Lake Sector Plan. This plan is one in a series of land use plans that set design and development patterns in Purple Line Station areas. Recently, Governor Martin O'Malley said he would invest $280 million towards the final design of the Purple Line. Councilmember Roger Berliner told us what this means to the future of Chevy Chase Lake.
The Chevy Chase Lake plan, I think, was appropriately, quote, phased, so that in phase one it is limited to what had really previously been approved for traffic purposes, and phase two is totally dependent on the Purple Line. So I think that was the right call, and as we work our way through this plan, it will just make it easier for people to understand that we're not going to impose too much of a additional traffic burden without the Purple Line there to assist.
Earlier this year, we had the chance to meet some ambitious young students from Earl B. Wood Middle School in Rockville who are part of a county mentoring program. Recently, they came back to the council office building to catch up with their peers, and we found out what they are taking away from their experience working side by side with county government employees.
Well, it's my honor to represent the area that you live in.
Delai Ward says she really didn't know how her local government affected her life.
When I first came here, to be honest, I had absolutely no idea how this works.
But after spending much of her 8th grade year as a participant in a county mentoring program, she has a better idea of how things in government get done.
They talk to you, oh, we do the roads and we do the taxes. And it's so interesting to learn all about that because it actually has a real world application, which frankly, a lot of stuff that you learn in school, you have no idea how to relate it to other stuff, but this does.
The program is the work of the county's task force on mentoring, which aims to help students focus on their future. Council staff member Josh Faust volunteered to be a mentor because he says it was something he received as a young man.
I know when I was in high school, I met some people in the local government where I'm from, and it sort of, piqued my interest. So I thought, might as well see if I can pay it forward and spread the wealth.
His protege, Tyree Davis, says he learned a lot under Faust and used that knowledge to obtain an internship for the summer.
I mean, it means a lot, so I could at least have something to do over the summer. And my resume, I can put that down, and that's good.
Council members Valerie Irvin and Phil Andrews told the students how they became elected officials. And while most of the group listened intently, politics didn't make it to the list of potential careers.
Are you interested in finance?
Yes.
Neurosurgeon is looking pretty good to me right now.
We wish them the very best in their future endeavors. When Montgomery County Police came to the residents of Damascus Gardens and asked for help in shutting down an open-air drug market there, they were more than happy to oblige. The bottom line here, more than 2 years after the drug market initiative began, Damascus Gardens has turned over a new leaf. Officials and residents were recognized by the council for their efforts to take back their community.
I mean, one of the reasons that this program is a success is that you don't just go in, arrest a few drug dealers, and then leave, because that is not a solution. That's not a long-term answer to a problem like this. Basically, take a neighborhood where the residents did not feel safe and turned it into a neighborhood where the residents do feel safe.
And when you're talking about saving a neighborhood, it's not just about saving the neighborhood itself, but it's also the people that are there, the people that live in despair, that think that nobody cares about them. I think I'm blessed, and I think this county is blessed to have people behind me like this who care enough about people's quality of life and wanted to do something about it. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland hereby commends the entire Community Partnership Drug Market Initiative for its success with the elimination of the open-air drug market in the Damascus Gardens community.
That's it for The Bottom Line this week. I'm Susan Kennedy. Thanks for watching.